Hello, welcome to the Tolkien Collector's Guide YouTube channel, where we gather experts from around the world to discuss Tolkien's books and the people who read them. I'm Urulókë, and with me are Trotter and Mr. Underhill. Hey everybody, happy holidays. Welcome to the Tolkien Collector's Guide Holiday Edition. We're here with Mr. Underhill, Trotter, and myself to wish each other happy holidays. We got a couple of quick gifts we're going to exchange to each other on camera. Then we'll do a review of 2022 and a quick look forward into 2023, what we're looking forward to next year. So welcome, guys. It's good to see you again. We'll have a little bit of fun here and close out our season one. I'm really happy with what we did there. We can talk a little bit at the end of what we want to do in season two as well. So awesome. Welcome, guys. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see y'all.
Nice to see you as well.
Awesome.
Oh, by the way, it's actually snowing where I am as well.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
And it is not where I am. So.
A little bit of sun today, but heavy rains yesterday and more to come. But yeah. About a month ago, we all arranged to mail to each other some mathoms that we wanted to share. So we're going to do a little quick gift exchange here, kind of virtually around the world on camera. So let's have that, guys. Let's see.
All right, let's open it up.
I know. All right, I got mine here from Chad. Everybody's going.
Okay, I'm pulling out Trotters right now.
There we go. Thank you for the lovely little card there, Chad.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Very nice little. I'll post pictures as well, but fantastic little 3D print there.
Yeah, it's a Hobbit rune I 3D printed.
Sweet. That looks really good.
Look, I got some tiny books. My makes my hands look so big. Look at these tiny books I got from Trotter. These are awesome. These are like the old. These are the Ballantine 1970s covers. Yeah. Those are awesome.
Fantastic.
How many did you get? Are there 4 of them?
There's more. Yeah, there's and then there's. I think I was holding up.
He only has 2 hands, so
I only have 2 hands. Here's 2 towers.
Then, it should be the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. Hopefully.
Yep. And then I got one more. Then you got Fellowship, right there.
Sweet.
These are awesome.
Those are like less than an inch tall, aren't they?
No, they're about an inch tall.
They're Doll's House books.
And here's the Hobbit.
Very cool. With Tolkien's own art on them. That's good.
With Tolkien's own art on. Oh, and they have on the spine too. Get to.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to see photographs of that. That's too small for me.
I'll take some some pictures there.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then
I decided to go a little bit goofy for you guys, so
okay. I'm opening up gifts from Jeremy right now.
Oh, that's good. Well, is that 3D printed?
It is. Yep. Been playing around at home. It should have a little foot if you dig around in the package, so it'll stand up. It's got a little standy foot at the bottom.
I've got that on it.
Very cool. Look at this. It's perfect.
I was trying to find something for Mr. Underhill, so
that guy kind of looks like me. We both have a mustache.
Exactly. I thought he looked a little bit like you. So that one's just the silly side of things.
Okay, hold on. I think there's more in my goodie bag.
What I got? Frodo lives.
Check out the name of that stuffy there.
What did you get, Andrew? You got a stuffy?
You'll have to hold it up to the camera slowly because of your motion detection.
Oh, well, the name is. Where's the name on it?
There's a little. I think on his ear there's a name tag.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I got. Jeremy got me some cool pins. Thanks, Jeremy. Those are awesome.
Awesome.
I don't have a Frodo Lives pin, so that's great. Well, now I do. And then I got a little TCG logo. Fantastic. I love it. Man, I cleaned up.
How did you find that then? It's someone called Trotter.
That's a little horse named Trotter.
A horse named Trotter. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Those of you who are watching, Jeremy and Andrew got the same. I got them the same thing. So they both got the postcard and they both got the 3D printed. And I have one too. If y'all look on the back, if you turn the the block over, it's got your name on there and it's got the date.
Yes.
I believe is what I put on there.
Yep.
That's pretty good. No, that's excellent. So the one that, unfortunately, one of them hasn't arrived yet because there were different companies that I used for these, and I wanted to see which ones were better. So, so Mr. Underhill's ones were was the US Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and Jeremy's are the UK ones. So
mine came from Ireland.
So yours came from Sri Lanka, but their first edition covers.
Oh, very cool.
So it's the original Hobbit and the original Lord of the Rings covers. They should be a similar size to that. So we'll put a picture in the
to keep these together so I don't lose them.
Yeah, and I'll post on the site when they arrive and let everybody know.
Which will probably be about 6 months' time, I imagine. But well, they might be there for next year.
I know. We were joking that for next year we're going to have to order and ship to each other in July in order to make sure everybody gets them in time.
Make sure they get there.
I'm checking the tracking right now. In transit. Oh, still in transit.
Still in transit. I know. Well, mine just showed up, I think, yesterday for you, Trotter. Right?
Yeah,
they were tight. It took a long time. It got sent back to me once for customs purposes and everything. So it's such a pain to mail things nowadays.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's really good.
It really is.
Well, happy holidays, guys. Whichever ones you celebrate
holidays
to everyone. We're having a lot of fun closing out our season 1 here. So
it's been a great year for Tolkien publishing, I think.
It has been. We've had a lot of good stuff. I want to. Why don't you guys have any particular favorites? We've had the illustrated Silmarillion. We've had
Complete Guys.
The complete guide illustrated by Ted was fantastic. And
my personal favorite release from this year has been the deluxe complete guide. That's, I think, if I had to pick my favorite, it's the slipcase deluxe. I just really like the color scheme that HarperCollins chose. Ted Naismith is my favorite Tolkien artist, so anything illustrated by him is going to be up there. So I think if I had to pick a favorite, it's probably that one. The trade is nice too, but the deluxe with the slipcase and the green cloth boards, it's a very nice volume. I'm very happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that's a really nice addition. The other one, of course, that stands out as well is the Great Tales.
That was a fantastic book.
There's some really nice things in there.
Jeremy, you just got a Great Tales Never End. You got a special one, didn't you?
I got the one signed by the editor and the publisher. That was straight from the Bodleian shop. I don't know if they still have some in stock, but recently, last couple of weeks, I think I checked and they still did. So that was a fun little one. We have it's not out for another 2 weeks yet, but the ebooks of the History of Middle Earth should be finally published in the UK, all 12 volumes. The People's is due in a week or two.
And I know a lot of people have been waiting for those.
Yep.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been waiting for those ebooks, so that's exciting.
They're very handy.
I'm going next year, hopefully, to the signing event for the Great Tales in March, I think, at Oxford. So I'm going to see if I can get my book signed by the people who are there. That's actually on the site. I put a link up for.
Yeah, John Garth and a few others are doing a consortium, aren't they? Some sort of.
Yes.
Cool. We had the Fall of Numenor came out just a month or two ago.
Yeah, I really like the trade Fall of Numenor. I think the dust jacket is they picked the right Alan Lee painting to put on the dust jacket. The end papers, I really like what they did with the end papers as well. It's just an all around very beautiful book. I know there have been some. The deluxe is more controversial, but the trade, I think everybody can agree that the trade is a very well-made book.
And Brian Sibley did a fantastic job editing. I think it's a lot of disparate material that he pulled together into a fairly concise and legible, if you will, narrative. It tells the story of the Second Age chronologically from all of Tolkien's various writings that have been published all over the place, really.
Yes, I think there's been some very positive feedback as well on what he's done for for that book, the way that the editorial's been done on it, and I actually think his editorial decision's been very good on that particular volume.
Yeah.
I also like the audiobook as well. I think the audiobook's very good. Having him and Samuel West doing the audiobook.
Yeah, who's doing so Brian Sibley's reading what? And he's reading the notes, and Samuel West is reading the text.
Yes.
Okay. Which
is very similar to how they did it for Unfinished Tales, because they got Timothy West to be J.R.R. Tolkien, and Samuel West is Christopher Tolkien in that one. So they read their own bits out. So it works quite well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You actually gives you an idea of who the passages are by. And it's the same thing, I think, with the Fall of Numenor. You can tell whether it's a note straight away or whether it's actually the main text, because it's a different person reading it. It's quite a clever way to do it.
For those of y'all who are watching us in the United States, the William Morrow released their version, which is the exact same of the Deluxe Lord of the Rings from last year. If you don't have it, if you already have the HarperCollins one, you don't really need to get the William Morrow unless you just want it for completion, because it's let me tell you folks, it's exactly the same. I think Jeremy's got one too, and he can attest to it. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, they changed the logo on the spine and on the title page. The copyright information is different, but it was even printed in the same publisher, print house did it. So the sheets are identical between the UK and the US for that
one. What about, okay, so here's another good one from this past year, and somebody, the author that we interviewed, Tom Shippey, his book Beowulf in the North Before the Vikings, fantastic book, must have, I think. Yeah.
I have a great interview as well with that we did with Tom. He's always very good for interviews, really. I mean,
very true.
And I would hope that we'll get him back on again at some point to talk about some of his other books, because he's done so many, and I don't think he's that there are interviews of those around so much that so I think hopefully he'll be happy to do them. And I think some of his books been re-released as well. Didn't I see somewhere? They're redoing some of his books.
I don't know. I haven't, unless I'm forgetting something. I don't know if Road to Middle Earth or Author of the Century is being re-released, unless y'all know something I don't.
No, I seem to think I saw some of them might be, but that could well be wrong. They should be re-released anyway.
They should. Those are must reads. What are your thoughts on the 2 volumes of the Silmarillion that were recently been released? I know there's some controversy out there.
Well, I think that the green is lovely. I really like the. I don't know whether I prefer the German green to the British one. They are slightly different. They're different greens.
Yeah, I put up some pictures comparing the English trade with the German trade, and let me tell you, the German trade, it's a very nice volume. I really like it. I can't read it, but
Clint Cotta is doing a fantastic job with the print, the paper quality, the quality in general of the binding, the materials used. Those are for book productions, just as a physical object. I don't know personally of anything that tops what the Germans have released in the last couple of years for both their trades and their deluxes are just fantastic. The slip cases and the boards quality and the print quality, paper choice, everything is really nice.
Yeah, I've compared, like I said, I've compared them side by side, and the German product, it's just a superior, for the most part, it's just a superior book.
Yeah, it's been a good year for international editions in general. I know there was an Atlas of Middle Earth re-release with all the maps redrawn in French. I really like that one. It's vastly oversized. I'll put some pictures up here in the video over us. But that's a great edition that just came out.
Yeah, I like a lot of the trade editions that the French editions. I like a lot of the artwork choices that they're using for the
They're,
dust jackets.
they're different as well, aren't they? They
Hmm.
actually go and pick deliberately. They pick different
Yeah,
illustrations to use, which I think is
Yep.
quite nice.
Yep.
So they're not all exactly the same as the UK ones. I think it's good to have a bit of variety in there.
Yep. The Brazilian HarperCollins editions this past year
Very
and
good.
forthcoming are looking fantastic.
they are.
I
They're
love
looking
their
really good.
design choices there as well.
So
And
the obviously the other big book that came out last year and big in a very big way was the Folio Lord of the Rings, because it's absolutely huge,
that is
uh,
gigantic. And it was a
They
big
gigantic.
release. Like it
they
sold out rapidly.
those books. Let me tell you, they are impossible to read. They
They're very
they are
very heavy. Aren't
they
they?
are very heavy. They are just large books. I mean, they're
You need
definitely coffee table size books. You need
the
a forklift or something to get them
I'm
out of there.
picturing those reading tables in momonasteries where they're at a slant and they have
Hmm.
the lip at the bottom, and you just put the book there. And
That's what you need to read those books. You do. You can't. It's not comfortable to sit down with one of those books and just kind of hold it and read it. It's not. I've tried it. It's
It's
not.
too heavy. It's too
there's a
heavy.
lot of unique art in there that wasn't used anywhere else that Alan Lee did. So it's definitely a collectible in that regard, if nothing else. And
Yeah, and I'm sure y'all have seen too. There are some people out there that didn't buy them when they came out, and now they're looking for some at a reasonable price, and
Mhm.
Well,
they're
they're
having
outrageous.
difficulty finding it.
Yep.
Well, a reasonable price at the moment is about £2,000. So
Yeah,
finding it cheaper than that, yeah, I think good luck to people if they can find
good.
it
Yeah,
cheaper
good
than that.
luck.
Yeah. We have it's still ongoing for another 2 weeks. The Marquette exhibition of the
Hmm.
manuscripts of J.R. Tolkien, awesome catalog, book in and of itself that was released back mid-year. The hardcover sold out, but they've re-released it as a paperback, slightly
Hmm.
less expensive, and also adding a transcript of Simon Tolkien's talk speech that he gave in honor of the exhibition. So that as a book in and of itself, it reproduces everything that was in the exhibition. So if you didn't have a chance to go see it or can't slip in the next couple of days, the book itself is a great resource both for a collectible, just a memento of the exhibition, but also as a research aid. I mean, there's so much fantastic material reproduced in photographs there of what was exhibited.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to get the hardback before it sold out, and I know y'all were too. That's another edition that you can't get anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That people are kind of hunting for right now, I think. But the soft
Yep.
cover is I don't have the soft cover yet. I'm probably going to get it, but I've it looks like it's just as almost just as good as the hardcover.
Looks remarkable. It looks the same actually. I
Yeah.
think the inside is the same. It's just as Jeremy said, it's got the introduction by Simon,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's exactly the same printing, so the quality of the print should be just as good in both of them. Be interesting to see when someone has got both of them to compare them, but I'd imagine that they're going to say they're just as good as each other. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I keep. I mean, if nobody does it soon, I may have to order one so I can put up some pictures on the site if no one does it pretty soon.
It's on my to-do list. I need to get the paperback
Oh,
ordered.
okay.
We'll
We'll get it up
one
there.
of us will get it done. Absolutely. It's I'm sure the quality is the same, a little bit lighter, a little bit less expensive, and as mentioned, the Simon Tolkien material was added to it. So even if you have the hardcover, I'm sure they won't complain if you order a paperback as well.
They will not.
So yeah, this is I think the first time in a couple of years we don't have a new edition of the Letters from Father Christmas. It's
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. Yeah.
we sort of last year we got almost definitive. It pretty much is the definitive. It has all of the letters reproduced, most of the envelopes, and the transcripts are as complete as editorially desired. I know that they're not going for every single word that Tolkien wrote, but to try and make it a little bit legible. So there's some editorial decisions, but the transcripts are complete of all
Yeah.
the letters, and it's a great read. There have been some new. I think the paperback got refreshed here in the U.S. with the William Morrow insignia imprint rather than HarperCollins or Houghton Mifflin as it's been in the past.
Yeah, I have the one I have that Jeremy's referring to, which is the Centenary edition, is a Houghton Mifflin. So I don't think you can get those anymore. They're probably they have to be William Morrow by now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fun collectible, and it's a great read every year to go through and
it is
enjoy the.
And I think that's the only thing it's missing, right? It's missing a few of the envelopes, and that's it. That's the only thing that could be added to that particular volume.
Yeah, I don't think there's much missing at all. It's not all the letters. Is there one letter that's missing still? One letter was never been published.
There are 2 letters. I can't recall off the top of my head in the 1940s that the family doesn't have. So obviously they can't reproduce them or transcribe them. They're lost. Always hoping that a box of materials someone will be digging through and but I think it's extremely unlikely at this
point. It's not that somebody bought them and they can't get a hold of them. It's that they don't know where they are.
Yeah, the family just was unable to locate them in the family.
You can imagine the amount of paperwork that Tolkien must have left at the end, and he put all those, fortunately, he locked them up in a drawer. But obviously, he locked them all up apart from 2, which he forgot to put in there, and they could be anywhere. They might be around still, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they could turn up at some point. There's
always possible. I don't know how unlikely at this point, but maybe they're in Christopher's papers, which haven't all been gone through by archivists, etc., or Priscilla's.
They could be.
It's possible. It's an off chance, but the 2022 edition, if you're looking for completeness, but there's other editions that are fun collectibles as well. There's miniatures, there's removable letters that come in little envelopes that you can pull out. If we look behind Trotter,
there's cassette tapes.
Exactly. There's cassette tapes and CDs that came with the boxed in with the book itself. Are those the Derek Jacobi reading of the letters? Yes. Is that what comes on those?
Yeah, he's the only one I think who's actually read them, so I don't think anybody else. Though I do understand that there was a reading in France when they did one of the tapestries, where they actually read the letter that I think it was that Priscilla sent to her father, and then they read back. So that's the first time I think that's ever been read, what she sent to him. Because we've never seen these. They might, I suppose they could turn up at some point as well.
I hope they do. Yeah, that would be a nice addition. So
some of them were around because they managed to read Priscilla's one.
I'm sure Professor Tolkien saved the ones his kids sent to him, so those got to be in a box somewhere. A decade or 2 decades, going back to the 70s when they published Father Christmas letters originally in 76, there's no interest in sharing what the kids wrote, the family, that they just shared the Tolkien's letters themselves. But now, that it's been 40 more years, I think, sort of a deluxe, all the kids' letters and his letters intermingled, telling the whole story. That could be fun. That could
I think
be
people would be
Tolkien
interested in
does
that.
reference what's in the letters that they've sent him. So if you have the original letters, you can see exactly what they put in.
And for anybody watching, if you want to get a first edition of Father Christmas letters, if that's what you're interested in, it's the top left corner of Andrew's background back there, the green one.
Yep. Good stuff. So it's been a great year. How about next year? I mean, we obviously can't say or know everything that's planned, but we've already started to see a couple inklings of some good stuff that's coming out next year.
Yeah, so we've got the History of Middle-earth. It's coming out as a one volume. It appears, I wasn't really aware of this.
History of the Hobbit, not History of the Middle-earth.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. History of the
I'm picturing a one-volume History of Middle-earth.
We've got a one-volume History of Middle-earth.
I wasn't aware that had never been published in America.
You can use it as a table stop or a
decided not to publish it.
Yeah,
so I don't know why.
hoping we
So
get
it's
some.
the first time. It's the
I'm
one
hoping
volume
we get
that's
some
coming out in America.
minis of History of Middle Earth. Wouldn't that be fun?
Someone will do it. You can buy my mug. It's just got the spine colors on it. That was a fun
Yes,
little holiday treat.
the mug is a mug for, I think, for any person who's a serious Tolkien fan. The History of Middle Earth volume mug is that's a must.
It was fun. Yeah, circling back to the history of the Hobbit. No, it
Yeah.
wasn't ever done as a one volume edition. I don't even know that the updated text was done other than an ebook. So they did the 2 volume and then the box set with the Hobbit itself included in the U.S., but we've never had the 1 volume edition. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, it's been available from the UK for a long time, but
Right.
that's just a refresh, I think, of the cover art. I'm not aware of any editorial changes in the text for that. It is supposed to be getting a deluxe, so the slipcase to match the deluxe run that's been coming out over.
Yeah, the mock-ups for the deluxe seem. I think they seem promising. I like the color choice and the slipcase with Tolkien's the drawings for the Misty Mountains look pretty good.
Well, you've got to be careful with that one to not make it look exactly the same as the Hobbit. So
Mm-hmm.
they have tried to make it differentiate between it, so it does look different. And the other interesting thing about that one, that's the first deluxe one that I've seen that actually has somebody else's name on the spine apart from Tolkien. None of the others have anybody else's name on them.
Yeah,
That's a good point. I didn't think about that, Trotter. That's a good observation.
Yeah. So
I wonder why they're doing that. That's an interesting.
Well, unless that's not going to be on the real one when it comes out, because it is a mock-up. That could disappear, but it does appear to be the first one that has somebody else's name on the spine.
Yep. We'll see. What's the big one? I obviously know, but one of you want to talk about the Battle of Maldon?
You want.
So this is a very interesting book. A lot of people have said this is one of Tolkien's best things that he ever got involved with. Was the Battle of Maldon and the Homecoming of Beorhtnoth, which he wrote, which was a play to fill in the gaps as to what happened after the Battle of Maldon. The Battle of Maldon took place in 12 something or other, not too far from where I live. Actually, I still keep making a pilgrimage to Maldon to actually have a look at the place, because the stream, the river's still there, obviously from where the battle took place. It's a very interesting battle. It's a completely. Some people think it was a completely stupid thing that they did, and others thought it was a very sort of heroic, chivalrous. So I don't know if people aren't aware, really, the whole battle is the Vikings coming to Essex, and they land on what's an island, and effectively there's a bridge that crosses between Maldon onto the mainland of Britain, or Wessex, it would have been at the time. And the king, the British king, could have just not let any of the Vikings come over the bridge and then just wiped them all out, because effectively they couldn't get to the other side of the bridge but he let the whole lot come over. He let all the Vikings come over to the other side. Then they had a proper battle, and he lost. So you then go back
right?
honorably. You then go back to. But so the whole thing, really, a lot of it is around: was this a stupid thing to do, or was that what he should have done? Because that's a chivalrous, sort of heroic way to do it. And some of that's in, obviously, the Lord of the Rings. You look at things like this, that Sauron would have not let them come across, and then of course Aragorn would have been all very much for letting the. It's quite an interesting parallel.
That's what I was going to say. Is that if you want to have that much of a more deep understanding of the material that Tolkien's drawing from when he's writing The Lord of the Rings, I think that reading his material that he produced around the Battle of Maldon and the Homecoming of Beorhtnoth will enrich your enjoyment of his his other legendarium.
Yeah, the Homecoming of Beorhtnoth, I believe, was actually on the radio at one point. There was a radio play of it, but I don't think that's been kept, so I don't think you can actually listen to that. But Tolkien, after he got his tape recorder and got rid of all the devils and things in it,
after he exercised it,
exercised. He loved his tape recorder.
He did.
He recorded the that particular poem on his tape recorder in his house in Oxford.
And we're hoping that HarperCollins kept the background noises in. We don't know for a fact, but we're hoping that HarperCollins didn't edit them out.
The phone ringing is very good in it, and you can also hear the cars driving past outside. But unfortunately, there's no one there to stop the phone ringing, because I think Tolkien was recording it by himself, because he didn't want anybody else interfering with it. So he can't go and answer the phone. So the phone just sits and rings and rings and rings.
Note to self, take the phone off the hook.
Take the phone off the hook, which is what he should have done. But again, it's an opportunity to hear Tolkien's voice, because it's the whole play. And it's unusual for him as well, because he's actually acting in this, as opposed to... most of the time you hear him, he's on the TV. Some of the Hobbit ones that he's done, and some of the Lord of the Rings, the poetry is similar. But this is it's just nice. It's always nice to hear more of Tolkien's voice. Really, I think it's always great.
Yeah, and it's a recording that's been kind of hard to get. And I think HarperCollins is doing I think they're doing Tolkien a service by making it more readily available to everybody. So.
Yep. And I'm sure, as rumors would have it, there will be other primary HarperCollins Tolkien publications next year.
Yeah.
No idea, can't say, won't say. We'll find out, and we'll let you guys know as we hear about those, but I'm sure there'll be more. We do know... Go ahead.
Well, there's one that you might be able to guess, which they've still not announced, but it would be pretty unlikely if it didn't arrive. And that's another version of The Hobbit.
Yeah.
That fits in with the Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion.
I think a lot of people are kind of assuming that's coming out this year, but there's been no formal announcement. But it definitely, if you follow the logic, it makes sense for that to come out this coming year.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what additional art. I mean, we have Wade Hammond, Christina Scull's Art of the Hobbit, so there's a lot of sketch work and draft versions of his paintings, which have been in there since 1937, 1938. But there's a lot of additional art that could be put to good use in a volume like that. So if they do it, and hopefully they will, that I think would be a volume to definitely look forward to.
I think there's some great art. And obviously the Art of the Hobbit, I think everything's already in there. But then that doesn't matter. I think it's nice to have it in one book.
Nice to have it around the scenes, the words that he was illustrating at the time. You know?
Exactly.
Yes. Which it isn't in the Art of the Hobbit. It's just in an order.
Yep.
So
it's just a catalog.
Would be. I'm very hopeful that they do that. So I just think it would be nice to have all three of them done that way.
And we also did get confirmation from Wayne Hammond and Christina Scull not too long ago, right? That they're going to reissue the Art of the Hobbit and the Art of the Lord of the Rings. I guess they're just going to do they're going to put them back into print, I guess. Or they're And so
they're not in slipcases anymore either.
No, they're going to take the slipcases away. But it was just nice to get confirmation from them that that's actually happening.
And there's some small corrections I think they mentioned are going to be in there. So slightly updated text. I don't think it supplants. If you can still find the I'll call it the first edition, if you will, the slipcased versions. The History of the Hobbit, I think, had giant fold-out plates that showed like 4 different versions, and I think the Lord of the Rings as well. Those might not be, if I'm remembering what they wrote. I think the fold-out plates are not being reproduced, so they'll be individual pages rather than fold-out pages, just to keep costs down.
The slipcases are gone, and the fold-out pages are gone.
Yep.
And they're just gonna be large format books in dust jackets, I'm sure.
hopefully, or printed boards.
Or printed boards, yeah.
Yep, we'll see on that. But excellent. I know we have a couple of secondary works I've seen announcements on. One is Aranzo Gilli's book, Tolkien's Library, a fully updated second edition.
Second edition of that.
That's in January. Looking forward to that. It's a great resource if you want to know which books Tolkien had in his personal library, read, or might have used as reference material. So it's a good way to kind of see, the background knowledge that he was using during his lifetime for all of his writings.
Yeah, and it's got some cool, Jay Johnstone art on the cover.
Always love his art.
Jay Johnstone's great.
Yep. And somewhat later in the year, I've seen we mentioned Alan Sisto and Sean Marchese's Why We Love Middle Earth. That's going to be a book on fandom and reading, and they're podcasters who have the Prancing Pony podcast for the last 6 years or so. So that's another book that we know of that's coming out, and I'm sure there'll be dozens more. If you keep an eye on the calendar on the Tolkien Guide website, there's a new releases subcategory in there telling you all the new releases of paperbacks and audiobooks and refreshes, and as well as major releases.
Yeah, and there's a section in our store too. There's a blocked off section for all the forthcoming releases, so you can look there as well.
Yep, absolutely. Well, it's been fantastic chatting with you guys again. It's been a great season one. I know we've had normal growing pains as we get this YouTube channel going. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to close out season one with this episode, but our plan is to start shooting season two next year and continue a lot of similar things, a little bit more experimentation on video styles and categories of things, but definitely continuing with the forthcoming releases, reviews of major releases, interviews with Numenor people in the Tolkien world, authors, illustrators. Tolkien Reading Day on March 25th is a big event that we do a lot of fun stuff with every year. So it should be a great season too.
It should be.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic.
Hopefully, we've had some great guests this year, and I think don't see why we can't see we can go for just as good for next year.
Absolutely. Great, guys. Pleasure chatting as always. Looking forward to next year. Thank you all for being with us this year. We hope you stick with us, and we'll continue growing and having fun with this. This has been a lot of fun.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.